So today we have another very special guest, Lanre. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
I'm alright. Just a bit tired, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
just
we're all a bit tired now, especially, it's getting to Christmas. Hopefully, it'll be a better 2021 than this year. Um, so I have heard a lot about you. You're doing an absolutely amazing job. So, you were a part of the 2017 Diana Award mentoring program, and that was absolutely great. And could you tell me a bit about that?
yeah. So I can't remember the month exactly, but I think I remember the careers advisor in my school, Ms. Craven, came up to me saying, "Oh, Lano, do you want to be a part of this mentoring program, which is by Diana Award?" So I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Because it sounded great. So obviously, the session started around May or April, I can't remember, and we did like social action projects like every week, and kind of created a task force called the Freedom Walkers, which was kind of just saying that we can do whatever we want, not literally, but we can do whatever like we can and whatever we need to, like just to be great. And like we had mentors from PwC, PricewaterhouseCooper, and Vodafone, um, and it was a brilliant experience. And honestly, it just taught us so much about life, and that we all kind of need that mentor for that step forward.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a great opportunity as well. The Dying Awards are so they're great for young people, and they do really save a lot of lives. And yeah, it's great to see them get out and reach more people, and like you as well. So I've heard that you have a foundation, and it's really inspiring. So could you tell a bit more to the viewers that are watching this?
So it's not mine personally, but it's one that was founded by our youth facilitator at the Diner Award. Her name's Bronte Edwards, and she wanted to create a space. Seeing as she was, I can't remember her exact story, but it was she did a different school called Ralph Thorsby, and she was in touch with all of the mentors of their parents, and she wanted to create a like space for them to like kind of connect, even though the Diner Award mentoring program was ending. She wanted to be able to mentor those students further. So she created the Bronte Lauren Foundation, which is currently going through like a, I don't know how to put it, but like redeveloping it to kind of make it more digital, because Bronte is based in Manchester, and we're all like us, we're all in Leeds, so she wanted to kind of like connect all of her young people together. So she does that via workshops, um, like inspirational Instagram stories, and just basically just making sure that we can be the best. Like we can we can be the best, even though like she's not physically like, there every day, like seeing us every week, like you would with the mentoring program.
Yeah, it's because I suppose in 2020 it's become much harder to do
Mm.
programs like this. So we try to do it online, but it's not the same. I suppose it's all we can do really, and it's
Mm.
great to see you and other people um developing on off the Dying Award and growing from that and trying to grow something out of it. And you're doing a lot of great work, and I was just wondering, was there someone in your life like a role model to you?
Oh, I'm trying to think because you could say there are so many, because depending on what I do, it's probably because someone's like introduced it to me. So for instance, like doing like social action, that comes from Bronte and the mentors at P like from the mentoring program. So I remember one was Chester, Kingsley, just all of them. They like they kind of inspire you to do more. And then there are the teachers at school as well who go above and beyond for like their students, and they'll be like, you know what, I'm not just going to teach them. I'm going to show them like this is what it's like to like be part of a community, and this is what it's like to like basically show all of like their students love. Like for some who probably don't necessarily have that same like connection at home.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd just like to know, and for the viewers as well, was if there was a message that you stuck by, and what is the one thing that you really are trying to campaign for? Is it anti-bullying? Is it something else? What was the one thing that you're trying to campaign for?
I don't think there's just one thing because we live in a world where there's so many injustices in
Mm.
our society. Like for instance, the Black Lives Matter movement, the free school meals that have recently just come about, anti-bullying. The list goes on and on and on. So, like for instance, obviously as a member of youth parliament, I campaign for like better mental health services because let's be honest, they're like a shambles to like what they are right now. I also campaign for free school meals, and we do that as well through Bite Back 2030, which is kind of it's not just about free school meals, but it's kind of just creating the injustices of our society and just highlighting them how they can change and how they're putting the government to account, these big brands into account for the injustices in our food system. Honestly, the list goes on and on and on. But the one thing that I'd say is youth voice, because obviously we are the future, and we need to make sure that like we're not gonna like be complacent. We're gonna just show everyone what we've got.
Yeah, and yeah, this world is very imperfect, and there are just so many issues, and I feel like coronavirus has kind of overshadowed them all, and it's kind of taken our main, it's just taken our attention away, and these things just behind the scenes have got worse and worse. And you
Yeah,
mentioned about mental health as well, and do you think that it's gotten worse over lockdown as well?
you know, mental health has definitely gotten worse over lockdown because, for instance, especially with the announcement that's just come that London are in tier 4, that's going to be devastating for so many people that live alone. And, it's just, yeah, I just feel like the pandemic, as he said, has like kind of swerved like people's attentions. But at the same time, I don't think that's just one thing that you could say about it. I think it's kind of broadened the horizon for so many people and kind of pinpointed that there are so many injustices in our society. So it's highlighted the fact that mental health is a really big issue. Um, so, for instance, I know people who like were so like jolly before lockdown, and now, they're starting to get back to normal. But all of these things keep happening, and I definitely do think it's gotten worse, and I definitely think there is stuff that still needs to be done because you know, I could go on and on about the subject, but
Yeah, and so because we can't really speak face to face, and do you think that you found doing the work that you do easier over lockdown by using technology and social media, or do you think it's easier to speak face to face with a person, maybe go to like a classroom and just speak about it, or do you think you find it easier over social media?
I don't think it's easier, but I feel like it's kind of the same because in theory it still has the same impact. Like, yeah, you could be talking to like 1,000 young people in a room back before coronavirus, but I do feel like the joy with online activism is that you're not just speaking to those 1,000 people in that room. You can reach more people in like online as long as people see it and as long as you're like actively campaigning, it doesn't matter if it's harder or easier. It's as long as you're getting your voice out there, and as long as you're just I don't know how to put it, but like you know, just just making sure that we are doing what we can to be heard. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't say it's harder. I just feel it's just a little obstacle in the way. It's a bit like I use the analogy as like you're in a park. You can take the easy route, which is clear. There's no bushes. There's no stinging nettles. Just one clear path. Or you can take the other one, which there's like lots of dogs and lots of nettles and just mud everywhere and just the uneasy path. So I just feel like that's what activism is like. There's no clear path, but as long as, but there'll always be that destination of where we want to go and where we want to take this activism.
Yeah, and do you think it's got better or worse with the lockdown? Do you think that there are more positives or more negatives that you've seen progress over lockdown?
Like it depends on how you see it really. Like there are so many positives and so many negatives over lockdown. The fact that we can't see people like face to face. Although for some people, be like, oh, that's just that's fine. But for many, it's like, what am I gonna do? I live alone. I don't live alone, but I mean, loads of people live alone, and they're like, I'm not gonna be able to see anyone for weeks, and it's just that fear. And then I feel like the positives of lockdown is that it's made like loads of people understand that like no matter how hard it gets, we kept on going. We worked as a community. So, for instance, the free school meal situation of the October half term, um, how so many businesses rallied together to be able to feed those who couldn't help themselves. That's one of the positives that have come out of lockdown.
Yeah, and I suppose all we can do is try and focus on the positive and try and forget the negative sides because there have definitely been just seeing it on the news around you, all this negative news, and it's effective with your mental health. That can affect how you live your daily life as well. And
Mhm.
I think we've passed the hardest of it all now, and just hopefully 2021 can be so much better than this year was.
Yeah.
Because yeah, what were you gonna say?
I said I agree, and especially with the news of the potential vaccine, fingers crossed, coming next year, rolling out. I feel 2021 is going to be like the Christmas present, the late Christmas present that we needed. Although it does look like Christmas is going to go like down the gutters like this week, but it's just there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We may be halfway there, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and there definitely, hopefully, 2021 will be that late Christmas present, as you said. And um, just I was just wondering, there are so many issues going on in the world, but if there had to be one that you would say is not really getting enough recognition or not enough's being said about it, what would that issue be?
I'd say bereavement. I feel it's like a bit of a taboo for most people. Like, obviously, bereavement is like obviously when you're grieving for someone when they've died. I have a friend called Alex Davies who has a campaign called No Child Left Behind, which is basically trying to tell the government that we need to like do something for those who are losing their loved ones because it's it's the support and especially with COVID-19, thousands and thousands of people have died this year, and now more than ever they're going to need that support. And I just feel it isn't taught enough. It isn't talked about enough like
Mm.
in this like I think that's one of the main ones I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of kids that don't really know how to handle certain situations. And it's hard. And it's one thing to speak about your problems, but it's another thing about being heard, people actually listening to your problems, and then where it goes from there. And it's a great complaint from your friend. And it's yeah. Yeah, because a lot of sad people have sadly lost loved ones over the past year for many years, even before lockdown, and it's hard for many people's mental health and physical health as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, you are very successful, and I've heard this. You were a radio host, and it's great. It's to see that you are really taking this year, and you are trying to persevere and try and find positives, trying to turn this gloomy dark age into a light at the end of the tunnel. But where would you see yourself in the future, and where would you like to take the campaign that you're in right now, and where would you take it into the future? And where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 years?
uh, I always hate this question because my perspective on the future always changes like I'd say 100, not 100, 10 months ago, I was going to say, I saw myself like, just chilling, like, just having a holiday after finishing my A levels. In 9 months, not 9 months, but I think it's like 6 months. But now, like, obviously, I'm getting to that stage where I'm going to have to pick what university I want. I mean, I'm not going to go to university, but I'm getting at that stage where I need to pick what I want to do after 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 college. So I know where I'm going to be, and it's like, so I'm going to definitely be doing an apprenticeship. But what I like is the one I'm going to be doing, I'll be working with an organization that still um, fights for what I'm fighting for right now. One of the things, at least. So that's at least the next year. 5 years probably. I don't know. I want to explore the world. I want to like just, I don't know, just do creative stuff and just see where like the road takes me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because people, yeah, like we only live once, and you have to try and live it and try and enjoy your life as well, especially. And it's kind of stopped us this year, but we have to try and move on. And it's great to look at the future and to not know. Sometimes it's good to not have a plan set out, and you just go wherever your life takes you. And it's that adventure, and it's so great to see. You want to explore the world, and that's amazing because there are a lot of different places that I would like to see when I'm older as well. And yeah, thanks for answering that. And you know, can you give us an idea of how the community around you has received your campaign? And do you think that there needs to be more recognition and more done, and more people joining in on it? Or do you think that your community has taken it very well and they're really listening to you and all of your friends and your group? Or do you think more needs to be done?
You know, most people define their community as where they live. As I live in a small town in Leeds, and I'd say it's fairly all right. But for me, I kind of define my community of like the people that I work with. So, for instance, I have the community at Chapo FM, which is a radio station in East Leeds. I have my community of Youth Parliament, Bikeback 2030, Bronte Foundation. I've got those are my communities. I just don't see them as just like one small area that I live in because not everyone knows who I am. I don't know everyone, you know. So I feel like my community, my communities have like I feel they all agree with what we want to do. Like we want to create a better world for everyone. We want to just see that um we want to see that everyone is equal, that they have equity in our society, and it's just yeah. I feel we all have the end goal, and yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, and it's because the campaign work that you're doing, and it definitely needs to be shone a light upon. And we have many, we can perceive communities in very different ways. But yeah, it's just great to see that you're getting the recognition that you deserve, and yeah, I do wish you the best for the future. So before we end this up, there's one more question, and if there was a quote that you would say that you live by or you really, really like, it could be made by you, it could be a well-known one, it could be a not so well-known one. What quote would you say you try to live by?
You know, I was thinking about this, and it used to be my Facebook bio, but I can't remember what it was, and it's killing me. But it went a lot, something along the lines of, um, "We're just here to be ourselves." Like we don't have to, we don't have to please anyone. Which as long as I'm okay, then I'm okay. I don't need to care about anyone else. So I'd say just sing like no one's watching and do the things that you do like no one's watching because at the end of the day, it's your success and no one else's.
Yeah, exactly. And before we can help other people, we have to be happy with ourselves. And if we're not in that right state of mind, we shouldn't be thinking about anything else. We should be trying to, because we're going to be stuck with ourselves for the rest of our lives. And if you don't love yourself, then there's really no point in focusing on anything other than that. And that is, the first thing that you should focus on. That's be happy with who you are. And
Mhm.
it's been great really speaking with you. You're an amazing person, and you have a very bright future, and I wish you the best for everything to happen you into the future. And thank you so much for being on it. I know your time's very precious, and especially now everyone's time's precious, I suppose. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you too.